right, everybody, welcome to Coffee for Closers. We've got a very, very special guest in studio today. Relatively local guy, but top producer with Megastar since I've been here. Actually, the entire time you've been top producer here. Kind of a legend around the office, but Mr. Carl Lewis from Lakeland, Florida, talking to us today about the annual review, the art of the annual review. We'll get into the details on all that, but Carl, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, how you doing?
So you've had how many years in the business?
Well, I licensed back in 1995.
Jeez.
So I'm pushing 30 years, three decades
30 years.
in the business. For the first 5 years, I was door to door.
Yeah.
I get these little mail cards, and the guy said, "Here's 15 leads. Good luck." Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was the hard road to hoe, man.
What kind of leads were they?
They were Medicare supplement. Basically, to learn about the changes in Medicare, sign below and get a free coffee mug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I'd go out on those leads, and when I get in the house, obviously I can talk about whatever I want.
Sure.
After I would always go over the Medicare guide and
Sure.
A is this, B is that, blah, blah, blah. Long-term care really isn't covered by Medicare much because I'm lingering now toward long-term care.
Sure.
And then eventually, say, what's going to happen if you and the wife end up in a nursing home?
Oh, yeah.
How's that life savings going to work for you then?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, how are you going to leave Sue? You going to leave Sue with no money?
Right.
Because us guys, I hate to say this, but we go first. We get sicker first. God, I don't know what you're thinking about it, but long-term care might be a good idea. So that's how I broke my teeth in selling and closing people.
So it's literally at their houses.
Yeah.
You would go.
And I would go there unannounced.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. The owner of the firm was down in South in St. Pete. He says, always call them the day ahead and let them know you're going to be in the area. No, thank you.
You just show up.
I just showed up.
Knock on the door. Hey, you asked for this.
Hey, here's my foot in the door, and here's your card, and the free coffee mug you wanted. Oh yeah.
The coffee mug came in handy.
Well, it was a Fidelity assurance company.
Okay.
And so say one of their things was we'll give you a free coffee mug, and they wanted their coffee mugs. I don't know. I mean, I got enough coffee mugs in my house. I don't need any more.
No, I don't need any more. I just went through that move, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how many mugs and cups we have, boxes of cups.
But basically, I started out every Tuesday morning with no money.
Yeah.
I had, it was all straight commission. So on Tuesday morning, I made no money. Friday, I had to make enough to pay the mortgage and pay bills.
Jeez.
And
you did that for how long?
About 5 years.
5 years, and then what? You move into the long-term care, life insurance.
Well, no, I was already doing the life insurance, long-term care, Medicare supplements. I was cutting my teeth on annuities already.
Right.
There was a guy there that came from Boston that was a big insurance and annuity guy. Kind of took me under his wing a little bit.
Okay.
He's recently passed away, and he was with our firm too for a while.
Oh, was he?
Originally.
Wow.
Yeah. Back when I was, before Megastar was created with the old USA.
Yeah.
But he recently passed a heart attack. Anyhow, he kind of broke me in on the annuity sales and stuff.
Taught you what it was, why it was important, where it fit.
Yep. And then one day we were going to go to work up in, I think it was either Tarpon Springs or somewhere around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, he said, we got some leads up there. Let's go to work. And then the next morning he calls me up. He goes, we're not going to work. I go, well, why? What are we doing? He goes, there's some guy doing a meeting up in Tampa about how to do annuities and life insurance and blah, blah, blah.
And this is the guy that was kind of teaching you about annuities.
This was the guy that was already pretty good.
Okay.
He goes, we're going to go see we're going to go look at it.
All right.
I said, okay. And that was the end of the story.
Okay.
We went there and it was a great idea. And I go, I'm signing up.
This was the old USA Tax.
Yes. Steve Hand. Yeah. And
then that's it, man. You've been a one FMO guy your entire career.
Which is unusual.
Totally unusual.
Very unusual. I mean, even most guys who are still around also have a linger here or a linger there. Mm-hmm. I have one direction.
Yeah.
It's one shoe.
Yeah. And it's working
out
really
me.
well. Yeah.
It's worked for me.
And you've been, and we'll get into the annual review stuff, but the USA Tax model led you to a place where now you've not marketed really outside of referral systems and stuff like that for 5 years.
Yes, sir.
That's insane, man.
So the downside of this, I lost a tax deduction called marketing expenses. The positive side is I keep the money.
Hey, man, I can't tell you. There's probably 100 people watching that their sole goal in life as a business owner is to get to that point.
Right.
They do not want to deal with the headaches of the ups and downs in the marketing world. And that's what it is. It's like, one day it works, the next day it doesn't, and then you got to change. Everything's changing. Oh, it's digital now. Oh, it's mail again. Now it's digital again,
Sure.
So you've managed to stave that off for half a decade or more.
Yeah.
So you sit down with Steve Hand. He shows you the tax model, right?
And I've kept this tax model going. It's still going.
Yeah.
This year we had a little bit of a hiccup. One of my tax guys said, I'm going to start teaching school now. He told me this in January.
Yeah. I think Tony was alluding to this. He was like, because I was saying Lee had a tough tax season. Tony was like, oh, I had a tough tax season. And then I was like, oh, Carl's coming in tomorrow to film. He's like, oh, I think Carl had a pretty bad tax season too.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully we're making it work. It's getting done.
Yeah.
We've got a few lingering that we had to file extensions for.
Sure.
But our clients are pretty, understanding. They're being good about it. Next year, I'm going to overstaff.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's real smooth.
Yeah. I think Lee's doing the same.
Yeah, you got to.
So the tax model works. Maybe explain just in brief the most high level to anybody.
The tax model is a real good way of keeping customers coming in that, for what reasons you don't know, they're not going to do business with you every year. Mm-hmm. But as long as you know Mary and John, you say hi to them. I always make it a point to at least walk in the lobby and go, hey, how you doing? How's it been? Good to see you. Yeah. I may not deliver their taxes this year.
Yeah.
I may not see them because the accountant doesn't see anything there that's really poking out.
Right.
But if I'm able and can, I do.
Yeah.
But really and truthfully, it's just one of those where you keep. And another thing about our business with the model it is, if you have as many avenues in there as you can, anytime a client comes in or a prospect, you look busy.
Right.
Now, think about this. If you call a restaurant and go, I want a reservation for tonight at 5, no problem. We got plenty of room.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in there?
No.
If they go, look, we don't have 5, we got 8:30.
Yeah.
And we'll have to put you on a waiting list to get you in there. Mm-hmm. And you go, all right, put me down. Because it must be good food.
Sure.
Well, if they walk into a firm and there's nobody in there, there's crickets chirping, do they want to be part of that firm?
They get a little nervous.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot. We say it. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Is people want to do business with people that are busy.
Yes.
And so it's an aesthetic pleaser for sure.
Yeah. So you have to create busy.
Right.
Medicare supplements, wills, trust, taxes,
Yeah.
insurance, anything you can do that will add people coming in.
Yeah.
And I've even kind of got creative with my assistant. I'll go, hey, if I've got an appointment, next week at 10 and 1, I go, if Reggie needs to see somebody, have them come in at 10 and 1.
Yeah.
I want the people in there at the same time.
Right.
Seeing
Reggie is your
attorney.
An attorney.
He's the attorney.
Okay,
Elder law.
Yeah.
So for wills or trust and things like that.
Sure.
Estate planning.
It's a powerful thing, man. When people see, a busy office, they see you walking around, you're shaking hands, and then you're like, oh, okay, come on back now. We're ready to see you.
Yep.
And, I know that Lee's been a bit advocate. This obviously comes from the USA tax world.
Model.
Like that's the model that came from. And Lee always would have, okay, people come back. And he'd be like, Mary or Sue or whoever the client is. It's like, why have you never referred anybody to us? It was like, well, you're just so busy all the time. I didn't think you needed anybody else, It's like, oh, no, we're always taking new people, right? But it's funny how that aesthetic just puts it in people's minds. Like, look, everybody else seems to be here. I should be here too. It's group.
It's what everybody else is doing.
It's what everybody else is doing, and it's done a real good job. So you'll run their tax practice or their tax returns for them. You'll file them, and it just gives you that shoe in, right? To have
well, you can look at capital gains on there, and they go, "I didn't sell anything. You didn't have to."
Right.
Your firm did.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do it with my permission. I go, they don't have to. That's called managing the money inside. I go and they create capital gains, and oftentimes I said you can create capital gains. And at the end of the year, your statement shows a loss. And you go, how did I have capital gains within the year? In the same year, in December, I've got a loss for the year.
Oh, man, that opens up a sale right there.
And I go, are you tired of that happening?
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. It's your money. I mean, do what you want to with it. But if it was me and I was retired and I've already made my money, I'm already here. I don't need to get there. I just want to stay there.
Yes.
That's what that's what most people are doing today.
Yeah.
I always give them the most people are doing. This is what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
This is what a lot of people are doing. This is what I've been doing for almost 30 years.
I love
and it works.
That is spot on, man. I love that. I mean, when we've talked about it before, but I don't know that I've sat across from somebody that's saying it before. I've put it out there. It's like you stole the words right out of my mouth. I love that. It's like you've been here. You saved for 20, 30 years to be here. What's the goal? Now
already
in
there.
the next 10 years to go to here? Or are you trying to keep the standard of life for the next?
And we can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it's this, that's a totally different bag of wax.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then on top of that, you know, it's just an established practice that's been around for a long time. People see the aesthetics on top of it. It's a shoe-in sale.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of you advisors out there, you're going to have big Facebook accounts. You're going to have all these posts on it and comments and everything. You're going to have a website with all these things. Guess what? I don't have much of that.
Right.
And I've done it pretty well without it.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to incorporate that now because I'm starting to work on it now.
Yes.
But I've been able to be very successful without even that part of the business.
Because you set a fundamental. You planted seeds as almost like a farmer. You've built a farm system that you can harvest each and every year.
Yeah. When clients come in and I'm gonna make a suggestion to them, I don't come in and go, "Hey, have a seat. You're gonna buy an annuity today."
Yeah.
No, I don't tell them that. They come in and they sit down and they go, "Here, how's things working out for you? How are you doing with everything? How's it been? How's your family?" I'll waste 15 minutes not talking about anything about the business.
Right.
And one of the guys used to work for me said, "I was standing outside your door listening to you, but I couldn't stand there all day. You were 20 minutes and you never got on the word about annuities yet." And I go, "Yes, I did. You just didn't realize what I was doing."
Right.
I said I was making comments, saying things about safety and how secure you're feeling and how everything's going, because eventually we're going to segue into making that move, whether it be moving money from their brokerage account or securing more savings that's in a bank making 0.25% when they could make 3 or 4. So
Man,
it's
you're blowing my mind, man.
and when I get done, I usually don't even have to ask for the sale, honestly, Alex.
It's there.
All I do is just explain why we need to do it and what is here and what's available.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they go, "Well, how do we do it? How do I need to go get the money?" Or
it's an attribute.
Yeah.
The best salesman in any business will say that. It's like closing. What do you mean? Closing?
Closing?
Closing is just asking of a question, right?
Yep.
At the end of a really, really well played out process.
Yeah.
You put together a process, you planted seeds along the way.
Yep. Well, you only ask questions that have yes answers.
Yeah.
During that
Get
meeting.
them in that yes mode.
Yeah, they're saying yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. What happens is once they agree to so many things, at the end of the day, everything you say, it must be good. And so they can't say no at the end of the appointment for a sale.
Right.
And I'm not telling you every one of them are lay downs, because every now and then you got to do a little bit of old selling.
Yeah.
But it's not hard.
Right.
It's never long. Like my daughter, she said she's getting in the business now. It's second generation coming in. Both daughters want to get in it. And
It's exciting.
She says, "Dad, you work really hard. Mom doesn't realize how hard you do work."
Yeah.
But, she goes, "I can't believe how effective it is what you do."
Yeah.
She goes, I never realized it. I was never here watching you in the office, seeing what you do, the transactions. I spend a lot of your money.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. But it is. It's when you've got that kind of seasoned experience and you're a natural salesperson, it appears really easy,
Right.
Effortless. Maybe not easy, but it feels effortless.
Sure.
And so when I watch you guys kind of in action, or I hear you guys tell your tales of this process or that process, it's always just so amazing to me how effortless it feels. But it always seems to be a methodical process that you've laid out over time that is just, look, by the time that third appointment comes around and I make a proposal or suggestion, it'd be really, really outside the norm for them to say no, right?
Sure,
They've
sure.
said yes to everything. And then to say one no would be so outside the ordinary. It's what it always appears to me as an outsider looking at it. It's like, okay, wow, that's a really impressive process, and then the close just seems easy.
Yeah. Most of the time now, my second appointment is doing the paperwork.
Right.
Look, the first appointment, I'm laying the groundwork, and I go, look, if everything sounds good, I'm going to need a few days to get the paperwork set up here. Yeah. I'm going to need a few things from you, copy your driver's license. Have we had any changes in your beneficiaries?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one of my daughters passed or my granddaughter moved out. So, yeah, we're going to change the beneficiaries a little bit. Okay, I need that from you. Paulette will give you a call in a few days when I finish the paperwork. I didn't ask him to do it yet.
Right.
When I finish the paperwork on this, we're going to take everything. Okay.
Then we got to get to your process because of the reasons why behind that, because it has to do with the fact that this person it's almost like a referral, or it's a client of yours, right?
Yeah. Warm markets. Yeah.
They're warm. So okay, let's talk about the annual review then.
All right.
You've made a living over the last 5 years harvesting this crop that you've seeded for
15 years,
decades before that, right?
Yeah.
So now what do? You've got a client book of tax clients, estate planning clients. They could be even financial clients of yours, just with that extra money. But you sit down with them in some capacity, or you find out that they've got an opportunity somewhere. Mm-hmm. What do? You reach out to them and say, hey, you want to come in for a financial appointment or what?
Well, the insurance companies help us out a lot. Right. By the 11-month summaries, that's telling the clients it's time to do something.
Yeah.
It's time to you to meet with your advisor or to talk to your husband about this or your wife and make some decisions. Well, they're looking at it going, I'm not sure what to do.
Okay.
And no matter how long they've been with you.
Right.
So when they get the call, if I look at it and go, this annuity's been in there for 12 years.
Yeah.
The cap's 1.5% on a monthly point, on an annual point to point.
Yike.
They could do better if they want to. I said, Paulette, have them come in next week, and I'm going to talk to them about some ideas. Okay. Well, they've already got the 11-month summary,
right?
So they're very reluctant. They're not very. They're going to come in quickly.
Yeah.
They're not going to push it off.
There's no apprehension.
No apprehension. Yeah. So they're like, okay, what time's good for him?
Yeah.
They come in, they go, all right, I got my 11-month summary, and there's changes. They say I need to make some changes in it, and I go, yeah, there may be some changes we need to make. Mm. But let me ask you something. I don't know if you've looked at the caps on it yet or looked at anything on the annuity as it is. So I see you're not using the money. You haven't taken any withdrawals in it in 12 years. What's this money for? Mm-hmm. More than likely just beneficiaries. My daughter, my son, maybe my grandkids. Yeah. It's just going to go to them. And I go, well, would you like for it to grow a little more aggressively than it is now at 1.5%? They go,
like, oh, yeah.
They go, well, could I? Mm-hmm. And I go, yeah, we could. There's several companies out now that are getting a little more aggressive with participation rates, little higher caps.
I like the way you say that. I like that.
Am I going to bring you in and you're going to get wealthy doing this? No. But am I going to bring you in and you can get a better return than you're getting now because of what the caps have gone down to? Sure. Yeah. And you're still going to be safe. You're still going to be protected. I'm not going to start charging you more money or anything like that. Everything's going to stay the same. I go, this is what most of my clients are doing right now. This is what they're following into.
They feel that group like, oh, okay, well, there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
If other people have done it, I don't want to be the only one that didn't.
Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah. This is smart.
Well, my daughter says, Dad, like 99% of them say yes. And I go, yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
There's
no downside to this.
The next appointment is confirming the app on the e-app.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what happens if they're not necessarily an 11-month review person?
Okay. Yeah, let's say they're a referral.
Yeah.
Well, obviously on those, they won't come in with everything usually the first time. They'll bring in their Merrill Lynch account and maybe their bank account at CD.
Yeah.
But then they got 3 other things that they forgot about. The life insurance, something else.
Social Security.
Social Security things. I go, look, I just kind of broke the ice a little bit today. Mm-hmm. I've given you a foundation of what we do and why Mary sent you here. Mary and John been with me for 15 years. Yeah. I said, they're never going to leave. The next people I'll see will be their kids coming in to get their inheritance. I go, because why would they go somewhere else if I'm doing what I said I was going to do?
Eliminating downside risk, keeping them some gains as much as possible.
I made some promises to them.
Yeah.
I made some commitments to the client, and that's why they told you comfortably, come see me.
Yeah.
How long have you been friends with Mary? 12 years, 13 years. I go, do you think they send you somewhere that they didn't feel comfortable sending you? Well, no, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And I go, look, this is the first appointment. How about bringing in the rest of those documents you have, and then I'm going to look over a few accounts that I have in mind for you right now. I'm independent, so I don't work for anybody. I work for you.
Yeah, love that.
So I work for you. I'm going to look at several companies out there, and keeping in mind your goals that you've already told me about. That you need some income, maybe. More than likely, most of it's going to be savings for heirs. You haven't touched it in 12 years. I don't have any reason to believe you can touch it tomorrow.
Right.
Although if we need it, it's there. So
powerful, man. There's a lot of synergies here, dude. Like I really feel like this is the kind of sales process I identify with myself.
Right.
And I'm sure there's so many people watching that are like, yes, that's right. The groupthink stuff you're talking about, the playing into the relationship a little bit. You inspect a little bit about their relationship. That's what I hear when you say that. It's tell me about your relationship. How far does it go back? Oh, we've known each other from this, and we play mahjong together, and we do this.
Play golf.
We play golf together. And it's like, okay, and you like them? Yeah. And so, I mean, look, I love them for the exact same reasons, And then you playing into that, and then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. She wouldn't send us somewhere else, and you got them right into that. There's a lot of psychology in the way you approach things to get them on page with, what seems to be a logical decision for most retirees that they can't seem to come to terms with because they've heard so many bad things about annuities, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, annuities aren't the thing. But they are nowadays. Anyway.
Oftentimes, if they bring up an annuity, and I'll go, let's take the name of an annuity off the picture. Let's just take it off of the page.
Yeah.
And let's not call it anything. Let's call it a safe haven. Let's call it a place you can put your money.
Yeah.
And this is what the features are. Tax deferral, no market risk, no fees, upside potential. If I told you that's what you were buying, how many of those do you want?
Oh, a ton of them.
Yeah. But let me put the word annuity on top of it, and all of a sudden you don't want it.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you why. It's what you've heard.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that question. Yeah. Why might be my favorite question. Well, why?
Why?
Nobody has a good reason.
They go, I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't remember why.
Yeah.
I don't remember why. I don't like
those
why?
Things. You know why you don't know? Because there's really not a good reason not to.
There isn't.
I go, the only reason that your broker told you not to, and that's probably where you heard it at, is because he's not willing to give up the $300,000 in your IRA or the money he has over here, because if he does, he just took a hit and pay.
Yeah.
He just lost.
It's a skin deep.
Yeah.
The fiduciary thing where it's like, I get paid on the book of business, fee only advisor, I got to act in your best interest because of the way I take my money.
Right.
Is skin deep, man. It only works in the accumulation phase of one's life. The second they shift, if it shifts to a distribution phase, why would I, if I'm your fee only broker and I manage $500,000 from this account and you've got all these other accounts, it might be the most advantageous for you to take it from my account that's doing really well. But why would I tell you to take it from my account? Let's say you need $20,000 a year. Why would I tell you to take it from mine? It's only hurting my paycheck.
I'm losing commission.
Yeah, there's no way I want to say that. I'd be hamstringing myself left and right. We had a guy, Matt Johnson from American Equity. He was the one that kind of opened my eyes to that conversation.
Right.
And I've had more debunkings of that fiduciary conversation with prospects, with advisors I've sat down with.
Sure.
Because of those statements. It's like, what do you love about the word fiduciary? Like, why do you only want to work with a fiduciary? They always come, oh yeah, well, I want somebody that acts in my best interest legally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, certainly.
Well, it's funny you say legally. As I was going through some CEs last year in November, I always wait till November the 15th. They're due by the 19th. And then I've got to get all my 20 hours in.
Dude, I am exactly the same, man.
And then I aced every one of them. I go, why do I wait? It's like I could do it without even listening to the material.
I know.
But,
it's the nature of who we are, man.
But you know how many times I heard act fiduciarily?
Yeah.
Act as a fiduciary manner.
Yeah.
Act as a fiduciary to the, and this is an insurance and annuity exam by the state.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, if they don't think that we're acting fiduciarily already, then they don't understand what we really do.
Well, they don't understand that there have been tons of legal, what happened with DOL in the beginning of the year, right? Like we're all held to the best interest of our clients.
Yeah.
We have to act in a fiduciary manner for our clients.
And I tell them this, I said, look, you know how many insurance companies take a look at the application you and I pass. Let's say you and I agree on something and I think it's a good idea and you like it.
Yeah.
That's not the final word.
No, it's the carriers.
We had to send it to the carrier, and the
and
carrier
their compliance departments, really.
and those lawyers up there that all they do is law scrutinize the application right and left, and they go, "Yep, this is a good idea."
Yep.
For this client.
Or they'll say no.
Yep. And if they say no, we go somewhere else or try something else, maybe. Or maybe we say, you know what,
adjust the plan a little bit.
Yeah.
They'll usually give you some guidelines too.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, look, this is what it needs to be for us to take it, and sometimes that's the right decision. Sometimes they catch things that we weren't thinking about.
That we weren't considering. Yeah.
But the thing is like, okay, so if the law is requiring me as an insurance only person to act in a fiduciary manner, right? Then the only thing that you like is the way that person takes his fee.
Sure.
Because you think if I get paid by a carrier or a commission from a carrier rather than a fee from your account, then I'm somehow swayed to do one thing or the other thing that's not in your best interest. But we already said, I have to act in your best interest.
I'm in trouble.
Right? So now you like this other fee structure because it comes out of your pocket? That doesn't make sense. And then two, it also only works in your best interest.
If the market's positive.
If the market's positive, and it only works in your best interest if you're in the accumulation phase, because I could get kind of scummy after that. Right? Yep. If I'm a scumbag, and
I'm loving that commission.
And I'm loving that commission, I might tell you to go take it from that other account that's maybe not doing as well as my account. And you're
the CDs you have, or cash in a CD and do that.
Cash in that CD, or pay the fee on that thing because I don't want my commission hurt. Right. Well, I can make up 20 different reasons that you shouldn't. Oh, the market's doing really well. You got to keep this money intact.
Long-term effect of it.
Yeah. I could keep up. We could think of all kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
But you're so right, man. I mean, honestly. So you've got a referral program too.
Yep.
Right. So you're incentivizing your clients to go out and.
Yeah, I think instead of just saying to the client, I'm going to incentivize you to give me a referral. I'm going to incentivize the referral they give me to come in.
Right.
So I give both of them type of a referral/fee or referral/gift, like a gift card.
Yeah.
Just for coming in and giving me the opportunity. So when a client of mine, like the other day, she told me she has 2 ladies that she wants to send to me. I said, well, don't do it for free. I said, here. I hand her my little gift card. It's got 3 gift cards on it. I flipped it over. I said, here's 2, and you got an extra one for somebody else you might think about. I said, just put their name here as new client, and then yours as current client, and then I'll know who gave me the referral, and I'll be sure to send you that gift card, and I will give them a gift card just for coming in and giving me the opportunity.
Wow.
No, there's no obligation here. There's no requirement to do business. I said, and then they can make the decision if what you recommended is good. Because I know, with my business, and I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but if a client gives me a referral, it's an 80, 90% close chance.
I don't know that anybody would argue with that.
It's pretty close to a close.
If they show up after being referred to you by a friend or a colleague,
it's a
you have
deal.
to mess it up. You got
to really screw up.
You got to really screw up to do that. But not to shortchange your process, man. I mean that's again you've created. It's just amazing. You've created a farm system that's self-sustainable. It continues to re-energize with new clients through the referral programs, through, obviously just good hard work as well. But then on top of that, you've got current clients that are coming back with more money.
Yep.
You're building relationships in complementary goods like estate planning and all the other things. Are you doing Medicare still?
Well, I've got a guy that does Medicare for me.
There you go.
You see, that way I can let him do that, make his $50, and keep my clients happy.
Yep.
And even stimulate more activity in the office.
Yep.
There again, I've even thought about, I doubt I'll ever do it, but I said, why don't I bring in a homeowner's insurance guy in and have him in the back room over there and sell homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Just anything that would keep people coming in for whatever reason.
But that's the reason. Like, why are you marketing? You're marketing for names on paper, right?
For live bodies.
Live bodies, right? And you want to be able to have some sort of relationship with them, which is why we all drive them to workshops and stuff like that.
Yep.
But again, you've got relationships. They're coming into your office. They're seeing you. You're the head honcho there. Like, this is you're doing this whole office, this whole building. Yeah,
my daughter and I are talking about one now, and I was going to talk to you guys about it and see what you think too. And it might be something we can put together. But, a lot of my clients are aging.
Yeah.
If you've been in the business for 30 years, you got some old clients.
For sure.
I've got them in their 90s, dude.
Yeah,
So, and they were 60s when I maybe met them,
Yeah.
But what do they have that we could go to and work on?
Right.
Children.
Yeah.
That are how old now?
Yeah.
They're eating retirement age.
Yeah, getting close to it for sure.
They're right there in their 60s.
Yeah, when do people usually have their kids, right?
Yep.
30 years.
Well,
Or 30 years old.
Well, 25.
25
30.
to 30, so.
Yeah. So I've got clients that are approaching 60. Their kids are approaching 60. So we thought about doing like a little wine event or maybe a Carrabba's or wine.
We were talking about this, weren't we? Or you were talking with Ryan about this a little bit.
But I thought I'd putting them, I have like an executive conference room in my building.
Yeah.
It can hold like 30 people.
Yeah.
So you could have 10 or 12 families say, hey, bring your daughter, bring your sons, bring your kids. I want to explain to them what you're doing and why you're doing it and how it's benefited you and everything in case you haven't yet. And they'll be aware of what you've got and how it works. So when they come in for their time to that unfortunate moment when they have to come in and collect your wares, I go, they'll be aware of what you got and what it's doing. I said, I'm thinking that might be another avenue
most definitely.
to bring in new blood. That younger
Absolutely.
blood. The guy says, I used to work at a company. I got a $200,000 401k. I quit that job and moved over here. What can I do with that?
Yeah, after seeing how good mom and dad did.
Mom and dad are sitting there. I had one the other day that sold the son for me for $350,000. It was said, you need to come in and see him. You just retired like a month ago. He kept it over at his brokerage account. He goes, I don't like it there. I don't like the way the guy talks to me. He's always putting these fictitious numbers and these spikes and growths and
hypothetical stuff.
Yeah. And he goes, I just don't feel comfortable. He goes, Mom and Dad told me they've been here for 15 so years and that their money has never gone up and down. It's steady. He goes, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So, and there again, he's 62 years old and we're working on it. We got the app in right now.
Jeez.
So
it's just amazing what you built, man. I mean, honestly, it's just, it's been wild. I mean, honestly, and for anybody watching, Carl, you're a top producer. You've qualified for every trip I've ever seen that Megastar's put on, right? So I can only speak to my experience with Megastar, but obviously I've heard stories of legends of the USA Tax Days too.
Right.
You qualify for every trip. You're a top producer, and you haven't marketed in 5 years, and this is just incredible, right? Hard to say you haven't marketed. You've put a marketing system together that organically builds every year for you and can allows you to, work smarter, man.
Yeah.
It's the most impressive thing in our business by far and away. Yeah. And you pair that with an incredible salesman on top of that.
You mentioned the qualifying for everything. I'll tell you what probably hit that with me. I remember when I first came into the USA Tax. Yeah. 25 years ago or 23 years ago. Yeah. It was around 2000. Yeah. And I was in there for my first month in the business. If Steve goes, go do the seminars, have appointments every day. Yeah. You do this and do that. My first month, I think it was $60,000 in commission.
Whoa.
My first month in the business.
Whoa.
That was 30 days in the business. Now, that wasn't paid yet, but that was sold.
Still.
Okay. That was, jeez. I look at it and go, honey, we're going to be successful.
I told my wife, on cloud nine.
I said,
man.
We're going to be golden, baby.
Man, oh man.
I said, this is a good move.
After door knocking too for, how many years?
Getting bit by dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've trained people doing that with the knock on the door stuff. Yeah. I think a couple agents that we have now have done that with me prior to coming on to USA Tax.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's one of those. But to be honest, it's hard work. It's putting the right things together. But I remember I got a phone call from USA Tax about 2 months or 3 months into the business and goes, hey, you want to go fishing with brokers and Steve Hand? Yeah. I go, where? Why? And where? It's in Canada. And I go, what's it for? They go, well, you're a top producer. We're going to you qualified for one of the top 10, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I go, what kind of fishing is it? I mean, I love fishing. I go, sure, I'll go. Yeah. So that was the first ever in my career. Trip, yeah. And I didn't miss any since then. So
why would you want to?
I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, I want to go to all of them.
They're great. We're going to Punta Mita here soon.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. Well, dude, 30 years of an incredible practice. Thanks for coming in and sharing all this stuff. Everybody watching, I hope you're taking home some nuggets and everything. If you have any interest in learning more from Carl, please let us know. We'll continue to bring him on the show. Maybe we even put a little training program together. I don't know.
Right.
But incredible process, man. Kudos to you. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Alex.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you right here next time on Coffee for Closers. Take care.